And thanks. With oil and gas being the main source of industry here in West Texas, we've seen booms and busts for decades. And over the years, some wells have been abandoned, which leaves a hazard for new landowners or business developers. One local lawmaker is doing what he can to work with the state and federal government to get rid of these orphaned wells. Rachel Robinson is here and has more on his plans to do that. Rachel, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good evening, Jonathan. State Representative Brooks Landgraf has received calls from citizens in his district about these orphan wells and the problems they cause. Now, with money from the federal government, he's hoping to plug as many of these wells as he can.
There are plenty of oil wells in service here in West Texas, creating energy for the rest of the country. But there are also a lot of abandoned ones that really don't serve a purpose.
A lot of cases here in the Permian Basin, they're legacy wells that were drilled back during the World War II era that just don't have a responsible party. And so basically it becomes an obligation of the state or federal government to cover the costs to plug these orphaned wells.
Plugging these wells is important to do for a number of reasons.
Abandoned or orphaned wells creates problems for livestock and property owners and can also lead to quite a few environmental problems.
With a new federal infrastructure bill and with the help of the state, the process of getting these wells filled in is in the works.
About $25 million is expected to arrive here in Texas later this fall for the purpose of covering the costs for plugging these orphaned wells. And we want to make sure that we have those resources in the places where they need to be. And I think that's going to have a tremendously positive impact for us out here in the West Texas oil patch.
There are orphaned wells all throughout the country, but here they're especially a problem.
Right now, the Railroad Commission estimates that we have almost 8,000 orphaned wells that need to be plugged in the state of Texas. In reality, they're probably more than that because we just don't know where all of them are or how many more exist.
And if you see any orphaned wells, we do have local resources to get them taken care of.
Especially if you're here in the Permian Basin, you're a landowner who encounters an orphan well that needs to be plugged, contact the Railroad Commission's regional office located in Midland, and they are supposed to be the first point of contact.
Landgraf also said he wants this program to be in a position well before the money comes from the federal government in the fall so that it can be as efficient as possible. If you want to find out contact information on how to reach the Railroad Commission about an orphan well in your area, you can find out more on our website, newswest9.com.